Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful that you can join us for our very first January reading 2025.
We are really excited about that because we don't know what's going to happen in 2025, but we're hoping that with the cards that we're going to be pulling, it'll give us all an idea of what we can look forward to anyway. So it
Yeah,
should be lots of fun.
and it should. And 2025 is the year of nine, so it's about transformation, it's about completions, so it's about things coming to completion and then us transforming into new stuff. So we picked five decks. And we pulled some cards for the collective, and we've decided this month we're going to do it a little different. We will put the decks in the show notes afterwards so that you know which decks that we used and can credit the authors for that. But we also did decide that we are just going to stack with each other, sort of like we do, and do it that way. We're not going to read the book or anything like that. We're just going to do that. And then we're going to do each month for the following year, just so you kind of know what you have to look forward to.
Right. And if you want to go in and look at the cards later, Kim's going to have them on the at the bottom of the podcast. So you can go in and you can look them up or go on the sites for um, wherever the cards are from, for whatever author, maker of the cards, and you can find your own reading from that as well. So you can be more, if you want to be very, very specific on it, you can do that as well. So
Yes, absolutely. So we will start, and we are going to start with January 2025.
we are. And look at that. And the first one that comes up, Kim and I love stocking because we can take the card and look at it. We can, between the two of us, we got a mile of things that we can do with them. But this one here is called it's the unicorn card. And imagine that the unicorn would come up on the month of January that we're talking about, right, coming up now. Because to me, the unicorn is a power. It's power, it's strong strength, it sees into the future. It can take us into new things because of the strength and the muscle it has behind it. Also, because this card in particular is full of all kinds of colors. So I'm seeing from that the month of January is going to bring in all kinds of new things that we're not expecting, because the unicorn to me is about unexpected because it's a horse doing its thing. That's just my perception of that. Anyways, because of the colors and everything else, I see there's going to be all kinds of things that are happening in January, and I think it's going to be a lot of worldly things too that we're going to look at. That we're going to look at them and go, oh my! But I mean, it's already happening with different parts of the world anyway. And I think because of government heads and things like that that have changed, it's also going to bring in some newness. Some of it's going to be ones that we like, and some of them that we're not going to like so much. But I don't think January is going to, it's going to be a bad month. It'll be a really awakening month. What do you think, Kimmy?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with it too. It also says spread the light of the universe on it. So I really feel like going into January 2025 that we're really walking into a place, especially as light workers, and we all are light workers. We just need to, put that out there. But what I'm really seeing is it's really a time of mystical things and magical things. And it's really about setting our intentions for what we want for
For the,
this year and how we're going to spread that across. And because it is a tumultuous time, there is a lot of chaotic things happening in the
yeah,
world as we're heading into 2025. But again, it's a year of completion. So I think going into it, what I see, I agree with you. There's all these colors, and, so being in alignment with yourself and really kind of doing a deep dive, sort of like we did in December, but
mhm.
like really focusing on where do you want to go and where do you want to spread your light throughout
I
2025.
agree. And also, I've already started my 101 wishes. But I think too, and it's already amazing because I'm already getting some of the things I've put in the wishes are already coming to me. So I think that too in itself is saying that with the light of the unicorns, it's saying, put it out there, put the things out there that you really want, put it out there early in the year. So it really gives you something concentrate on, sorry, and look forward to, because it's real fun when you can look back on a page and go, wow, I had put that on my 101 sort of thing, or I wish this, I manifested this, and it actually came true. And it's like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah, and I think
So,
January is such a good time for vision boards and things like that as well. So,
yep,
like just like our 101 wishes
yep,
is doing these vision boards and really putting that vision out there and being as magical and as mystical as you can and really calling in the things for yourself.
I
So
agree.
I think January is going to be a wonderful month.
I do too. I totally agree with you. Being with the unicorns, like who doesn't like a unicorn anyway? And to me, yeah, because the unicorn is mystical and that. So, yeah, spread the light. Spread your heart out there. Do your what you want for manifesting for that month, because
Mhm.
you sure want it to work with you for the following year, 25.
Exactly.
Cool.
So awesome. So February now.
Ooh, you get to
So,
start
all
this
right.
one.
So February, the card is, and I don't know if we showed you the card.
We did not.
So
No,
there's, try to find
no,
it. There we
there,
go.
that's a better
There
way.
we go. Okay.
There.
February is about security. So we put the plans into action, and now, so what we're really wanting to do is bring in that security. How are we going to secure ourselves for that year ahead? And it feels like, because it is the security card, it's like there's something that's going to be happening in February that's going to make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. And we're looking for, security in our homes, and we're looking for security with family, and a reconnection with people is what I'm really getting with it.
Okay.
It feels like there's going to be some worldly events that are happening that are really going to really, I think that's where the insecurity is going to come from, is these worldly events that are going to be happening. And I feel like it's a lot of natural world events like volcanoes and hurricanes and those kind of things. And because they're so massive and we're just so uncertain, we're just going to seek that security. So for me, all it's really saying is make sure where you're seeking that security is somewhere foundational, like you're seeking it from people that you love and things like that, and not into some of these addictions and some of the places that
Yeah.
you can go
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing with that.
I do too. I agree with you. Because it's got the fire in it too, I think, what it's saying is there's going to be the fireworks that's going to be happening in the month of February for sure. But with all of the animals that's in it too, it's saying that stick close to home, find and love and what you need, the nourishment of. It's the time of February to sit back, take some time out. I know you have to go to work and things like that, but take the time to think still about what you want to be doing. Settle into the newness of what's happening into a year ahead, and start really thinking about where you want to pattern your own self into it, because it is going to be a really big year, I think, in 25. I also got a feeling that stay on top of your mountain. Don't let your mountain decease and go anywhere. If you're trying to start something, like Kim said already, continue it on. Don't embark on too many things. Stay with one thing at a time, go slow with it. And being the month of February is a good month to stay home anyway. Once you're home from work and that, to do some other things. So do that, because that's going to open up your world and everything you need to know. And it's going to come in really lightly for you and easily for you after that too.
Yeah.
So that's what I get for that
I
one.
get that too. And I'm also picking up with the sky and the way that the sky are and the different things in the sky. It's really a pay attention to the sky, maybe the astrological things that are coming in if you listen to some astrologers. But there's messages in the sky for us, and we really need to pay attention to that.
I
So
do. And I'm going to go out on a limb a bit too. I really am, about listening for other UFOs and things like that. They're out there, and I know some of us don't want to really talk about it or fringe on it too much, but that look into the skies, like Kim said, keep your eyes on the skies, because there's got to be a lot of information that we're going to receive this year, and it's going to be touching into our heart, and it's going to be so cool because we're really uniting as a nation and a country, and these are going to touch us really deeply. So pay attention to that too, like Kim said.
yeah,
I agree.
agreed, 100%.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
March
I
is
wasn't going to do the old reach out to there.
I was on my borderline of it because I was like, I feel like there's just, I mean, there already is talk of,
Yeah.
these different planets contacting us and stuff. And I don't know, when I looked at the card, I'm just like, it's so
It's
there,
right there.
you can't help it.
Yeah.
So,
And it's going to be good. I mean, it's nothing to be afraid of. I don't feel fear in it. It just, it's just something else that has to happen. It's already happening. And anyway, we'll throw that down your throat. But yes, pay attention to the skies, because there's lots of information, and also the peace that's going to be traveling around. So many more people are trying to really reconnect universally and to heal and every the rest. And it's proving itself in gold that the more love and that we give out there, the more connected we're getting and the nicer it's becoming.
Yes.
So this one here,
March.
March. So March is going to be a time of flourishing, and we don't normally plant things in March, but this is telling me that our March isn't going to be that bad. I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to say here in Alberta for us. But anyways, the things we're going to start putting things to birth. So in the month of March, I'm thinking that anything you want to plant, the seedlings that you're going to plant in March are going to harvest earlier than you think. So again, with your 101 wishes or your vision board and that type of thing, whatever you're putting on there, you're going by March, you should be able to start seeing some of these actually coming into fruition so that you can sit back and go, whoa, this is just way too cool. It talks about the chakras too system in that, keeping yourself aligned. I don't know, but Kim and I both talk to our plants, and it's just another way of raising the vibrations of your inside your home and things like that too. But also plants are so nourishing and so comforting too. So that's what I get out of that one for the month of March.
Yeah, and I agree with you because I think it's really about what we've planted. And I think because it's talking about this and we're kind of looking into the future, you can use this when you're doing your vision board and doing your stuff to really look at each of your chakras and think about, what do you want for security from your base chakra? What do you want to create from your sacral chakra? What do you want to, you go up all your chakras and think about what they mean and align some of your visions with that because you're planting these seeds and it feels like the more that you can tend to these seeds that you've planted, the better that they are going to grow. And talk to them and talk to whoever you believe in and just keep putting that out there for it and earth yourself, like
Yes.
get down in the ground, be in the dirt. If you don't like dirt, then just stand on the ground if you can have a chance, but just try to ground yourself down and just
Put in your
to,
plants at home.
yeah,
Put your hands in your
yeah,
plants, something like that, in order to ground yourself so you can root it,
yeah.
deep root it.
Because the more we touch the earth, the more we can pull that energy from the earth into ourselves to help these things create and be fruitful. So that's what I'm seeing as well is it's definitely a time of
Creativity.
manifesting and creating the things that we want.
Absolutely, it is. So you get to start the next card.
Okay, so I'm just writing that one down so they have it. Okay, so for April, we have the Magical Map Seeker. So this is a very interesting card to me because it's like, or map shifter, I guess it says. Can't see for all the lights. So it's like walking blindfolded into April. And so for me, what that's saying is really paying attention to all of your senses and all the images and all the things that are coming to you in the dream time. And to know that wherever you're trying to move and meander through life and get to that final destination, you just got to be pulling that into yourself. And sometimes when we use our eyes, we deceive ourselves because we let the ego really become a part of who we are.
Yeah.
And so we can't really see ourselves getting to the place that we want to get to. And so when we close our eyes, so whether you're meditating or you're sleeping or you're just whatever, our imagination is so wonderful and we can create these things in our imagination.
Yeah.
So again, it's just talking to me about just really making some shifts in your life in April time.
Yeah.
And really listening to your gut when you're making these different things because there's going to be a lot of energy around April. It feels like things are really going to be firing up for you. And so you really need to be paying attention to those and really concentrating on the things that you want to bring forward, not on the things that you don't want to bring forward. Because
Totally.
either way, you will do wherever your mind goes. So
I totally agree with Kimmy. It is about, you know, putting a blindfold on, closing your eyes to what's going on around you that you can see. Allow yourself to actually sit in the quiet more often in April, to bring through the things that you've been trying to manifest since January, right? Well, from December too, right? It's just saying, close your eyes, allow it to happen. Because if you do that, then it allows the newness to come. And then you can get excited about the things that are actually in front of you, where if you look at it and you are looking on the ego side, the first thing you do is shut yourself down from the possibilities because you're not thinking of it the right way. You're trying to bring it on too quickly or something like that. This one here card just says, follow it through. Think about the possibilities. Think about the dreams in front of you. At the same time, open up your heart to what you need for that, because once you balance yourself and you connect yourself to the earth and you connect to your heart, then you can accept things a whole lot easier because the perfect energy is running through you from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, sort of thing. And it'll help you to manifest things coming through for you. So don't close the door to possibilities coming through, because by May, April, like Kim said, things are going to start opening up hugely, and all kinds of possibilities are going to be coming into your life. So if you're starting, I mean, I'm getting something with that where if someone's going, oh, I got some dread happening this month. Okay, sit back and go, no, 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 no. It's going to be a real awakening for me, and I can't wait for it to come.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you because I'm really feeling like April is really like worldly is going to be a little bit of a chaotic time, and there's going to be a lot of really some obstacles and things that are going to come. And so, if we get to go down the rabbit hole into some of these things and are just let our minds and our bodies move into what the agenda is, I'm gonna say that. Then right, we get stuck in that and we can't see our own visions, and I think that's where it's really talking. So it's really about, like you said, just going inwards and
Go inward.
just feeling for yourself and not getting caught up in all people's dread that are, because then maybe they're just worried about the things that are going on. But it does feel like there's going to be some
stuff.
and I mean, it has to be, I think in 2025, there has to be some chaotic things because it is a transformation and ending year. Is there has to be some completions of some things that are happening in the world, and some of the things have already started, with some of this Hollywood stuff, with some, political stuff, and I'm not going to go into any of it, but
No, we're not.
I'm just going to say it's the tip of the iceberg, and there's going to be more that's out there. So, we really don't get too caught up in it. I guess that's where I was going with it.
I totally agree. Allow yourself to just feel the energy of the year, because like Kim said, it's a finish year. So you're already probably feeling it into this year, because I certainly have had for the last few months, actually, things that have been coming to an end to make room for the new. And, April's going to be one of those months because it's coming in closer to summer and things like that.
Yeah.
And all kinds of things become more busy as we get into the warmer weather as well. Storms, hurricanes, you name it. But then they should be almost done, but that's not always true. Anyway, okay.
Right. May.
Whoa, of the heart. To me, this one here is so significant of the heart. I know it's an emerald. An emerald is a green. A green to me is always about bringing in the best you can, and making it stick with you. So what I'm getting from that in particularly is in the month of May, allow your heart to see more. And when I say see, we always think feel of the heart. But the heart also sees, I feel, that when you feel something in your heart, you see a different vision of what's in front of you and how you can manifest things because of your heart and the way it's bringing a new sensation to you. And it helps you see things in a different way. If you looked at something and you looked at it in a negative way, the picture's so different. If you look at it and you bring your heart into it, you pull in all the goodness that's around it. May too is a time of flowers and that type of thing. Rain is also happening in the month of May. Things are starting to grow, and that is a wonderful time to let our hearts grow too. So even though there's going to be some stuff that we're finishing up, and there's going to be some sadness that will come into some people's lives because of separations and things like that, but there will also be wonderful things that will come in, new babies and new things in the world that we're going to just go, oh my God, that's a really good idea. So let those things come to you and let the heart generate you to see what's in front of you so that you can build the heart or the feeling that comes with the vision of how the two of them should come together.
Yeah. I 110% agree with you. And when you were saying that, what I was really getting is like with the green is definitely about the heart, right? Because it's pulling into the heart chakra and there's a big heart on the top of the emerald. So, yeah, definitely that. And
Yeah.
then green is also like, the plants are coming up and there's all this newness. So, like you were saying, so you can expect a lot of newness into May coming for you. And I loved what you said about seeing with your heart because I was just watching a show on Gaia and it was talking about channeling. And so these channelers were talking about they see, but they see and they connect to these different beings and their higher selves and what have you, because they're seeing with their heart. They're coming from their heart. And if more of us did that, it was like they said, everybody channels and we all channel in different way, whether you're a painter or a writer or
That's right.
a gardener, it doesn't matter what you do, but as long as you're putting your heart into it, you're channeling forward the new beginnings and the new things and becoming more open to stuff. So I loved what you said because it just resonated with me 100%.
I think
So
too that because there's always negative that comes out in the world that we see, if we allow the heart to channel us through where we need to go, then we can accept them a little easier, a lot easier actually, than in trying to feed into the negativity that is fed to us in every corner of the world and every little battle. So if we try to see on to bring the heart to see, then what it'll do is help you walk through some of the things that are going to happen in this year on a real brighter side. And by the time the end of the year comes, you're going to be sitting back going, yeah, just from breathing and relaxing and not getting all humped up on these things, how much better my life has become and how much more I'm just flowing, going with the flow because I've allowed that to happen. So try to think about that. Remember that in May.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, me too.
That's a great one.
Thanks.
Okay. So June, spiritual technology. It says expand your imagination and share your visions. So I love this because it's talking, we're going into June now and summer's starting to spruce up. And again, it's talking about, putting these visions in, leaving the past behind of what you don't need anymore, because
Mhm.
we really just need to be concentrating on how we're going to be moving forward and all these new ideas that we're getting, because it seems like I don't know, but for me, when it's warm outside and the weather is nice and stuff, I just get so inspired by
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
around me, right? By the sun and, the moon and all the different things. It's such an inspiring time.
yeah.
And it's a time this year of not keeping these visions to yourself. We often keep these visions to ourselves because we're afraid to come out of the broom closet and let other people know exactly what we're thinking. Where are we going? Like, oh, are they crazy? Are they, who cares?
Yeah,
Just, as Mel Robbins would say, let them think whatever they want. Now is the time to get those visions out and get started on it, because you've been kind of manifesting, like, as the reading has been going, you can see how it's
yeah.
manifesting. And even though there's some chaotic times, it's like the world is sort of your oyster, and now is the time to really take hold of that.
I agree. And I believe too, because of the card of spiritual technology was interesting because this one here come up another time when I was shuffling the card. Um, so it just talks about this is going to be the year I find that there's going to be some inventions and things that are going to be happening in this world that's going to take us to another level of what we're doing now. I mean, we're already sitting on plateaus of amazement of some of the things that are out there that have come through internet and technology and things like that. The thing that I'm getting for this is more and more people, scientists and things like that, are coming into the spiritual side of thinking, and connecting the two of them together. Where we're trying to, where what we're learning is through spirituality and believing in and helping put these two things together, we're healing people, we're creating new things, our visions are getting bigger and better, we're allowing yourself to travel farther into our own minds and the possibilities out there. So I find that this year is going to be a year in sort of the June time where there's going to be so many things that are going to start coming out of the woodwork, new discoveries and beautiful stuff that's going to be worth sharing. And it's going to be some of it's going to be a little bit on the rock and scary side, but on the most part, it's going to be beautiful if you allow it. So
Mhm.
again, it's talking into the card of May, where don't allow yourself to get into the, the wrong side of things. Allow yourself to be lighthearted
Mhm.
as much as you can, and it's going to make such a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting because I was watching the show last night on channeling, and so it was really interesting because one, when we interviewed that Dr. Garrett Ute, and he was from the Ions, they were on this program that I was watching and talking about these channelers and, you know, how they did the brain scans on and stuff when they were channeling to just see how their brains are lighting
Isn't that
up.
amazing?
But then
Yeah.
it also went into talking about the locality and the stuff that we were talking to William T. Kenny about, where
Okay.
we were talking about all these scientific things and how if it's spinning in one spot, it's spinning in the other spot. And it was just very interesting. So when you were talking, it made me think of that because it's like, pay attention to these things that have come to your mind or things that you've heard because they're all going to really start manifesting into life to show
Mhm.
you these creations and things like that.
And
So,
if you're a creator, this is a year for you. You're going to fold the tables to the things that have been sitting in the past. You're going, you can't get through it. You got that block that's happening. Coming up into this year, that's going to open up, and some of the things that you've been working on and you want to create, you're going to succeed.
mhm.
It's going to be a good year for that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so
believe
too.
that. Yeah,
I think so too.
that's
Okay.
stepping out of the box again.
Right? It's you,
I
July.
thought I just did June.
Oh, no, I don't think
Anyway, July. July is it says solitude. And I think too, like as much as summer in July, everybody's outside, they're doing their thing. It is a time to sit back and pull in some solitude for yourself. Allow nature to be at its best for you, because you're rocking into the right part of the year and the more flourishing. But I think what it's saying is because we've been walking in such a fast paced this last while, when we went through the COVID thing, even though you would think it was a fast pace, but everything changed, and since then, everything's been changing still, right? Some of it back, try to go back to where it was before all that happened, but we know it's not going to really go there. So I think what it's saying here is in the month of July, take the time to just sip the nectar of life in itself. Embrace yourself on the sunshine, embrace yourself in the moon, embrace yourself in every type of energy that you feel a liking and a loving and a compassionate, a bliss from. Follow it through because that's going to be your month to recuperate for getting your energies back for the year to help you finish the completions of what's going to be going out through the year. And because you're in tune with the earth and that too, I
Mhm.
also find that it's an easier way to connect to where you should be going if you're paying attention. Um, there's the word.
Yeah,
Paying
absolutely.
attention.
And I agree with you. It's all about trying to find that solitude within yourself. It's kind of like it really feels like this month is going to be totally about resetting your clock and really just going within, because it's been like a very busy year up till now. And so you need to find that solitude. You need to reconnect back to yourself. You need to be getting out in nature. You need to be, going to water, being in earth,
Mhm.
all the elements is like you really need to pull into yourself and kind of do this reset. And where am I going? Where am I at on this journey that I've, kind of laid out for
Mhm.
myself for the year? And, where am I at? And being okay being by yourself.
When I was getting, when you were saying that too, it was like time travel. I was getting the mechanics of the wheel of time travel. That was in my mind and how it was working with that. So allow yourself to do that time travel through that month, because it's sort of the envisioning month of making things happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that really came to me. It was like, we watch it in the moonlight, watch it and everything that you're seeing about you, like let that solitude just grab a hold of you and stick with you.
Yeah, I like that.
Me too.
Good one.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, me
August
too.
is the lovers.
Mm.
So again, and I mean, I think with lovers, it is definitely on a romantic level. And I think we're going to see a lot of blossoming relationships and a renewal of relationships and ending of relationships as well. So it's
Yes.
about that. And it's about really, again, coming from your heart and looking at the relationships that are around you and who are the people that you want in your tribe for the rest of this year and moving forward, because that's really important, is
Yeah,
that
I
when we're
get that.
giving our heart away to someone and sharing that, such a vulnerable thing, is that we really need to find that person that is going to really connect with us on all levels.
I
And
agree.
so I really feel like, as much as it's about the lovers and relationships, I feel like it's about connection as well.
I agree. It's about relationships, because what it's saying is, if you're not in a relationship, why aren't you? Because there's so many places that you can go to find that other person that likes the same things that you do. Doesn't have to be a partner. It's talking about being in a relationship with somebody that you communicate with, that shares the same kind of like as you, so that you can actually prosper and bring that vision that you've been trying to talk about, afraid to talk about, afraid to move forward with. Find that other person to make that relationship strong for you, so that you can envision your dreams together, and also you can pull in other groups together too to make more relationships happen. If you're a person that's afraid to get out there and because you're nervous around people or something, this is the time where it's telling you, reach out farther. There's somebody out there waiting for you to communicate with, to help you grow and how you are as a person right now, and how your money and everything else is going to move and change, as long as you let the relationship help you to build it together. Like Ken said, I agree. There's going to be relationships that will end this year. But you got to remember that everything ends usually because it's meant to, and it opens us up for newness that's supposed to be coming in our way. And again, I'm going to reiterate sort of thing that if you go to different communities where you can get into something that inspires you, book clubs or libraries, or I don't know, looking for crop circles or whatever you want to do it.
Mhm.
Do it and find a person that you can take by the hand and say, hey, what the hell? Do you want to do that with me? And just go do it.
Absolutely. And if you want to be alone, you don't want a relationship, if that's really what you're stuck on, then it's still about connecting with other people and connecting with yourself. Then,
Relationship with yourself.
being that in a relationship with yourself and loving yourself enough to be able to say, whatever it is that you want to love in this month or whomever you want to love, it's about, announcing that to the world and being really set in your choices with it.
Yep.
So, rather it's a breaking up of a relationship, be set in that. If it's a new relationship, be set in that. If it's one you want with yourself, then own that
Hmm.
and don't care what other people say, because it's all about grounding and rooting yourself with this.
And it's also like, ask the questions you didn't ask before. If you got into different situations but didn't ask the questions and sat back later and said, if I had done that like 6 months ago, I'd be so different today. Ask those questions. Be that person. Step outside that safe spot. Step outside of the box. Do some other stuff for you. And that's what we're saying is find the relationship either with yourself,
Yeah.
or with others.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
No, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. You get to do September, which makes sense because September is your birthday. So.
Okay, September. Education is then interesting because usually education starts in the month of September,
Yep.
doesn't matter where it is. But it's interesting. I think what it is saying that education, and I talked about that in conversation today. Education is about, if you're following something you think that's what you want to do, then follow that for a while. If there's something else that's bringing you a little bit of enlightenment and happiness thinking about it, follow that too. But with the educational pursuits that you follow this year, don't give up on them. And don't take the light side of them. This is going to be a year of, you want a good education. This is the year to dedicate yourself to the 4 years, 5 years, or whatever you want to do with it. It's going to be a time where there's going to be so much stuff that's going on anyways around us by the time September comes. I think this year that if you have already by this time it's saying choose what you want to do, because this is going to be a path that you're going to be needing to follow. In spiritual, I find that there's going to be so many things that we need to break out and open up a little bit more to on the spiritual side that is going to really awaken us. And some of it's going to seem stormy at first, but in the end, it's going to be really nice and calm. But we have to do some of this stormy stuff, which is the education, learning through all of this to bring it forward so that we can just make the world a better place coming up in the future. So don't allow the feelings of dread or fear of education or learning something different to be a drawback, because if it's not something that you're going to have to take 4 years with or whatever, if it's just learning how to read, maybe you can't read that, or you're dyslexic and you want to do it the right way, whatever it is, follow it through. This is going to be the year to find it and make it easy.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because September is definitely, kids are going back to school. It's definitely a time of learning. And I think as our kids are going back to school, or if you don't have kids, it's about learning new things, like opening your mind, just expanding your mind, and it doesn't have to be education into a school. It can be,
Creative.
learn, like you said, learning something that you love, or, if there's something that really interests you, going down that rabbit hole to find out where it is and what type of, it's like healing, do I want to do Reiki? Do I want to do,
Yeah.
Healing touch? Do I want to,
Paint
what
pictures.
do I want to do to bring that forward? But it's like, our minds need to be really expanded this year. And so it's really talking about just finding those passions that you have for learning and reading. I mean, it can be just as much as going to your library or buying a book or listening to a book and just really delving into that book and just getting all the information that you can for it.
And don't
So,
let anybody veer you off your path once you've chosen where you want to go, because this is the year to choose where you want to go. Let the light come on and follow it for where you want to go with this, because it is going to be a really interesting year.
yeah, there's
2025.
going to be a lot of lessons in September.
Yes.
A lot of, like, I think, like, if you look at it a literal way, right? When we're, getting education, we're getting lessons. And so there's going to be a lot of lessons in September. So pay attention to those so that you can get through those easily.
Just remember to have your heart open up enough that you don't listen to any negative stuff that's coming through, whether you stay positive on that side, so that when all the information, if it's coming from the white light and from your heart, then it's going to be a good vision of where you're traveling and what you're going to be doing with this. If you allow yourself to go on the dark side of it, I don't think I can, that kind of thing. Don't do it. That's not even allowed. It's supposed to be about you just saying, no, I'm going to do this. This is how miracles happen. This is how newness come into this world, and we're going to see lots of newness coming up.
Yeah, I agree. Don't allow anybody to put out your light.
Next one. I like that one.
Thank you. I heard it somewhere. Something I read. Okay, October, not my birthday, but probably should be because I love Halloween. So, anyways, is citron. So, definitely coming into your solar plexus and coming into your creativity and coming into paying attention to the things that are around you. When I'm looking at the card, I see a face within these crystals, and so it's really talking about, going with your gut and paying attention. If you think that you're seeing things that are out there, pay attention to those. What are the messages that are trying to come into you? What is your soul really trying to tell you where you need to go and do this creativity and where you need to be paying attention?
Yeah.
Because it's really, we're coming to the closing of the year where it's such a completion year, and I just getting like total
Goosebumps.
confirmation with that is right. We really need to be paying attention to these and listening to what our soul really wants to complete for this year. What do we really want to transform
Mhm.
as we're coming into this, coming into Halloween when the veil is so thin, what ancestors do we want to call into us to bring to those things? It's that kind of thing that I'm feeling with this one. Is it's really about just, yeah, going with
Yeah.
your gut and go with your gut.
Yeah.
If there's something that's calling to you and you think, hey, I should do this, and you have the naysayers or even your own naysayers in your own head,
Yeah, we have those.
stop them and say, no, I'm going to go for this. This feels right. I have a gut intuition about this, and go with that. That's what I'm picking up with
I'm
that.
too, I'm also picking up with it is if it's something that's in front of you and you don't feel like it's for you, don't be afraid to say to you, put your foot right down and say, no, I'm not doing that. I am simply not doing it. It's about paying attention to your health too. Pay attention to your health in that month. We were walking, started slowing back into the darker times of the year and the slower movement times as well. But it's also the time when we connect to, coughs and colds and things that can already be starting to do their things. I'm thinking in October of this year, there's going to be some kind of, and of course, there's always something else that comes up with the flu and that, but there's going to be something else. So this card tells me, pay attention, take care of yourself. Really take care of yourself, take your vitamins, do the things, do your mental things, keep up on top of that too. Find your enlightenment anywhere you can find it and ward off anything that is negative
Get out in the sunshine.
as much as you can and just enjoy. And then I think the thing with me with this was if it doesn't feel right for you, it's not. And it's just that simple
Mhm.
and just ward it away. And if you feel like you're going someplace and maybe there's been a cold or something that's been going on there and you know it, don't go.
Exactly.
It's about your health. So stay close to your health, pay attention to it in that month, and you'll survive it and you'll do just fine with it. It's definitely seeking
Mhm.
truth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it.
me too.
All right. November. What do you got first?
Clothing. Hmm, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going first?
Yes.
Oh, I am. Okay, this one here is really interesting. It's called clothing. And wouldn't you believe it's in November? Of course, in November, we're going to clothe ourselves. We're going to make sure we're warm. We're going to be in preparation for cooler weather. It doesn't matter where we're in the world. Still going to be some cooler weather that's going to be happening this month. But what it's doing is saying, shelter yourself because on the outside and keep yourself warm. Because what it helps you do is help you to create the inner warmth in yourself too. So don't be afraid to go inside to find what you're looking for because you're coming towards the end of the year again. And then because it's a completion year, like Kim said, now whatever hasn't been completed is bound to take its course, okay? Because the year is coming to its end. So this is the time, if you've been thinking about walking away from a relationship or something like that, go inside first. Make sure that you've marked all the dots and crossed all the T's of where you want to go with, and then walk away with a really open mind because you've gone inside to find what you need.
Mhm.
Okay, you're keeping the outside protected all the time. It doesn't matter if it's with clothes or if you're protecting yourself with white light to nourish yourself on the inside. Do that. It's talking about letting your outer side express what you really feel on your inside. So no more hiding behind a cloak.
Mhm.
Your doors are opening now. So you're going to be expressing yourself in all kinds of different ways that you went, whoa. I actually said that out loud. We used to say that a lot. Came in whoa, that actually came out of my mouth. I didn't mean that to
Yeah.
come out.
Oops. That was my outside voice.
That-
Right? I think we've all said that, right? That was my outside voice.
Yeah, it was
Oops.
totally moves
Right?
away. So be aware of that in that month. That's what we're
Yeah.
getting.
I think it's like really own your shit, right? Like walk your walk, talk your talk, be you, dress the way you want to do, wear your hair the way you want to. I mean, obviously, if we have office jobs or something,
Yeah.
we have to conform a little bit, but we're not always at the office. So, kind of let your freak flag fly and just be who you really are on the inside and just don't even care what people think because it's all about spreading our light, which is where we started with in January. And now we're coming into November. And it's like we've gone through all these different hurdles through the year. And it's like, who gives a shit? Just, or like, really, like, just be you because the right people will come around you and be a part of your tribe.
They're the people
And
you
the
want there
wrong
anyway.
people will fall away and it won't matter. And yeah, like you said, like talk your talk, like say it, say what's in your mind. Don't hold back, like too often. I mean, we can still be conscious of people's feelings and emotions and things like that, but too often we don't say what we're really feeling on the inside. And this, for me, is really saying it's time. Like, it's time to put it out
I
there.
think too, in the month of November, there's going to be something to do with the technological side of things, computer, whatever. There's going to be there's some kind of glitch or something at that time that's going to push us into another fragment of where we need to be going. And I think a little bit is galactic wise, that type of thing. But there is going to be some energies with that that's going to be really different. It's going to cause some problems that way in the month of November. So pay attention to that as well.
Hmm. And we came to it December. So we got, which is a really cool card to end with, I think, which is world peace and cooperation. Uh, choose harmonious and teamwork.
Harmless.
Harmless.
Harmlessness.
Harmlessness. Sorry.
That's weird for you.
I can't see without my glasses and the lights. It's like that's so tiny. I'm like, I'm messing. But I love this card.
I love it too. I love it.
Like it is so
To finish off the year for that.
perfect for a completion card, right?
Mhm.
Coming to that world peace with each other. We've been through this year, we've transformed, it's really talking about a lot of galactical things and bringing, the stars into things and things like that, and creating more harmonious life that we want to live on this world and making it a more peaceful thing. Like,
Mhm.
what a beautiful card.
It's freaking awesome, is what it is. And when she's saying that too, I'm agreeing with her 100%. But I'm also seeing that, and by the time December comes this year, we've come such a long way. There's going to be spiritual workers that are going to be far and above and beyond what we ever imagined. I think that the spiritual world connection of the spiritual world is going to be so heightened that we're going to read each other's minds quite easily in order to make the changes that need to be happening in this world. And I think too, the more that we think this year about doing it in such a nice way that there's no anger, no fear, anything like that with it, we're just going on with the hopes and the dreams of it's going to be best. But I just think that there's going to be so much information
Mhm.
transferring from mind to body to
Mhm.
from healing in sicknesses, all miracles happening. It's going to be that kind of a thing. And by the time the month of December comes, we're really going to establish that. And if you are into the love side of things and you are connected into your spiritual side, it's just going to be exuberant for you. It's going to be
Mhm.
unbelievable. where you're going to travel with it and which you're going to be handling into by the time you walk into 2026.
Yeah, it's like the gates are down and we're starting to realize that we're more than, I just heard this phrase the other day was
Yeah.
we're more than these human suits that we're in. We are energy, we are consciousness, we are, like you said,
Beautiful.
we're going to be able to speak to each other through our minds and through our hearts and really look and listen with our hearts because that's really what this consciousness is about. And
Trust.
really putting, it's almost like I feel like at the end of the year there's going to be some kind of like global prayer, global getting together to save the earth of some way. So
Trust.
I
It's
think
about
it's just
trust.
a beautiful, beautiful way to
Oh,
end.
it's about taking trust and try to do more with your trusting. Believe in yourself more. Believe in the possibilities of what can be happening out there. Like anything's possible. If you're closing yourself off, saying, "Nah, it can't happen." Well, maybe in your world it won't. But in the world of the others, where they are traveling with their minds already and allowing things to just introduce themselves to them, um, they're the ones that are going to flourish, and we're going to see some pretty magnificent stuff through that. We're going to learn a lot more about the human body this year as well, I believe.
Mhm.
And there's going to be some cures that are going to be caught in this month of 2025. So I'd like to stick my neck out in another way, but I'm not going to right now. But I will write it down in my little book to see if it comes true. But anyway, do the teamwork, but be your own best team. Be your own best team. And by that card, like Kim said, it's an amazing card. And it just brings everything together in the end. So look up and look beyond.
Exactly. And so we hope you have a beautiful, beautiful 2025. Start your vision boards, your 101 wishes, your vision goal books. I've heard them called all kinds of different things in the last little bit,
Yeah.
but put that goal out for yourself for 2025 of what you want, even if it's just an intention that you put out and it's one thing,
Yeah.
and go for it. And we will be back. Well, we will have lots of podcast guests this year for you guys,
I'm excited.
and
I'm
we're
excited.
already starting interview. So we have lots of amazing people coming up, and we will still do our monthly readings, but we thought we would just do something different for January and
Yeah.
do the year just in advance to sort of see, what kind of energies we can look forward to. And it's will be nice to listen back to this one and see, just how
What did we say to you?
did we
How did
get
that?
it?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's be the best part of you this year, and please enjoy our podcast. Like Kim said, we got some amazing people coming on this year. Again, we've already had lots of amazing people, and if there's something on the podcast that you know of somebody that's suffering with something or they need some information, please give them the information about the people that we're trying to put out there to show you your way, because this will be the year of 2025 to dig into that and find those people that are there to walk you through what you need to do so you can walk your walk and talk your talk.
Yeah. And please like and share us with your friends and family. Positive review helps us in the podcast world. We're just trying to grow this for everybody out there and look forward to some more live YouTube podcast ones. So we're excited about that. We're going to bring that this year. And I think it's going to be amazing because you're going to be able to be interactive with us
We want that.
and with the guests that we've
Yeah.
lining up for you to do this with, where you can ask some of these questions. So please be following us on YouTube is where we will be doing this podcast, and then they will be there for you to watch as a replay. So
Smile, love, and laugh.
yes.
Let the wisdom flow through you. But make sure you do the smiling and laughing. The laughing is a really good thing. It
Laughing is
really
a
is.
really good thing. And know that you're always loved.
Yes.
So thank you from our hearts.
Yes, and thanks
And
for sharing with us this year, our years of doing this now. And please follow us.
yes, and we will see you next time.
You betcha.